Hello, everyone. Welcome to the TNT podcast.
Welcome back.
I know it's been this 2025.
Can you believe it? I can't even believe that. It's not only is it 2025, we're in March already.
I know. I felt like
how are we in March?
I felt like we just had Christmas.
We just had Christmas, but you know, one thing that kind of cracked me up the other day is I got a delivery in the mail, and this was for a package that I ordered during Christmas time when I was ordering for my kids. And I just got a notification that said, your order has been shipped. And I'm like, what order? Like, what did I order?
Forgot about it. Right?
So I'm going into my mail and I'm like searching and I'm like, well, I literally could not remember what I ordered. And the order arrived February 28th. I ordered it October 15th.
Wow, that's bad. And you know, that's one of the things that we're really going to focus on today is about the Black-owned business, you know?
Goodness. Black-owned business, the gap in customer service in Black-owned businesses.
It's something that they really need to look into and try to enhance. Because it's. I think there are those that are thriving and doing really good.
Yes, there are many businesses that are doing well. So we're not going to box everybody into one. But I feel like there are more Black-owned businesses.
And you always say that there's levels to it too.
Listen, there are levels to Black-owned businesses because then you have Black-owned. You have Black-owned businesses. Then you have Caribbean-owned businesses. So that's a level within the Black-owned businesses. But that's another category of its own.
Yeah.
But then you get to the African-owned businesses. Lord. And then within the African-owned businesses, you got the Nigerian-owned businesses. That's the one that will take you out. That's the one that will elevate your blood pressure. The Nigerian-owned businesses will literally take you to another level.
What was that experience you had when you ordered food?
You know, when I called to order the food, I just picked up the phone and I said, oh, you know, egusi. I said, is that all you want? What else do you want with it? And I'm like,
are we fighting? Like, what's going on?
You know? And he was like, I don't know. Do you want meat? Do you not want meat? I was just like, what?
Can eat egusi without the meat in it?
In the world? It was just attitude. I can't even say it was attitude. It was just him acting like I was annoying him, right?
And this is what I don't understand. Is it attitude or is this just the way they are? It's just like
so
do you not know that you should be...
For the Nigerian-owned businesses, I just want to say is the way they are. For the Black-owned African-American type businesses, I think it's attitude. Because, I mean, you literally enter into the place and it's just like, oh, hi. And they're like, it's just like, mm-hmm. Like, what is
The one that gets me, you know how I love my Caribbean food, right? Yeah. You get in there and the thing you hear is, what I want? I'm like, really?
Like, no hello, no nothing. It's like, why are you here? Like, what?
Hi, how are you? You know? None of that.
Man.
So I'm like, okay, fine. So that's one of the things with the Caribbean restaurants that I know. And I'm like, okay, that's different. But you know, it's funny. When we talk about customer service or you call for services, a vendor, or, you know, anything, one of the things that gets me is even when you call on the phone.
Oh.
Listen to this. I remember, I'm not going to call any company name specifically, but phone service.
Yeah.
I can't stand calling. You call and they just... I know that you have to have product knowledge. That's important.
Because, I mean, you have to sell your stuff to...
Or even help me out with my issue.
You're right.
You're going to take me round and round and round. So guess what? I no longer call. I just use the chat service.
Yeah.
Please, we're going to type the situation here, the problem.
So here's my thing, right? As Black people, we want to patronize Black organizations, right? And
we should.
And we should patronize Black organizations. And I think somebody asked one time to say, you know, that are Black people or are people in general expecting more from Black-owned businesses? And I actually feel like people in general expect less.
After certain encounters,
I think
begin to say, hey.
It's just a general perception. Everybody kind of, you want to support the business, but you kind of go in knowing that you're not always going to get the level of service that you should expect. I mean, I ordered from a lady one time and the order took forever. And she would go on her Instagram page. Okay, so she's a small business and the business picked up drastically. And then so she was having problems fulfilling the orders, right? And because she's been exhausted trying to fulfill this order, my thing is, why don't you hire somebody?
Yeah, that's where you expand your resources.
That's the thing. You can't, if you're at a certain level, you have to hire someone or stop taking orders.
Part of growth.
And then I will watch that same person then advertise for a sale for an order when you are backed up. You're backed up 2 months fulfilling the orders that you already have, right? But then now you're promoting sales and asking more people to place more orders. So and there's always a premium on the price.
There is.
It's never
more, you're going to pay more.
Yes. Well, it's not even you expect more. I feel like a lot of times when we purchase from Black-owned businesses, there's a premium on the it's a little bit more expensive than you would get somewhere else, or some of the freebies that would usually be added in as part of what you're getting, you don't get it. Which again, you still want to patronize them, but there's a lot of things that happen that make you just say.
I think in general, they just have to understand that having this business, one of the most important things, obviously, if you're a nonprofit, is to grow.
To grow.
You need to grow. How are you going to do that? You're not going to grow when you have negative
and you need to
feedback.
You need to be able to lure in repeat customers, right? Your repeat customers are actually the ones who are going to pay your bills, right?
Basically, yeah.
So during the pandemic, and I won't name the name of this product, this Black-owned business, she came out with some products that were really good. It was like turbans and things like that. I won't mention it, even though I feel like some people might know who I'm talking about. And if they know, then that means they've also experienced some issues with this company. Right. She started the business. The business grew really fast, right? And but initially I ordered some of these things from her. They were like hair bands and things like that, turbans. They were really nice. The way she packaged it, the way everything came, it was so nice. She talked about her story on her page. It was really nice, and I was very happy to support. And when you order, you got a one-on-one touch of email thanking you for ordering from her. When the package came, it came with talking about her business and how, just very positive. I loved it, right? Then a year into it, I saw that I was just at Target one day and I saw that product in Target and I was like, oh my God, like this is so nice. I was so happy for her. The product was in Target. And then next I ordered it early on, like early before the pools even opened and everything, months and months. So when I placed the order, she took my money. Then a week later, I got an email saying, oh, this item is back ordered, blah, 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 So I kept getting that email. It took over 3 months for me to get the order. But here's the kicker. When the order came, it was just like somebody took it off the floor of the warehouse, factory, wherever they're making it, and just tossed it into the USPS bag, right? Because there was nothing. There was no packaging. It was just that turban, swim cap tossed in there. And what even annoyed me the most was the fact that there were like fabric, like remnants of fabrics, different color fabrics.
They swept it off the floor and dumped it in the box.
That's what it looked like.
So clearly
there was zero representation, right? And then when it came, there was like there was no customer, like you could see that there was no quality.
Yeah, the service and everything started to decline.
It was already ripping at the seams. This was not a cheap product, right? So that just really annoyed me. So I didn't go on Instagram and lash out like most people were doing. At that time, there were a lot of people going on the Instagram page because people had been waiting for their products for months and not getting it.
After waiting for months,
correct.
Clearly you're going to be disappointed.
So I went and I messaged and she said, oh, they're sorry, blah, 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 blah. Ever since they went into Target. How is that my concern? You chose to go into Target, but now you can't fulfill your order and you can't fulfill your quality.
That's what I always say.
And she said she was going to send me another product out. Till now, I've not received the new product.
Sure, you're a smart fry.
And the kicker out of all of this, right? The kicker is the product is actually really good. It will do. But am I going to ever order that product again? No, I'm not.
The experience was good.
It was I can't wait 3 months to get a product. and I couldn't reach customer service, you would say, oh, you got to call, or sorry, you got to email, you can't call. You always know when a company doesn't have a phone number because they know
that's a red flag. That's a red flag.
Number one red flag.
Yep.
When there's no number to reach someone, you know that they're about to be giving you the runaround.
Yeah. So, a lot of the things is you want to grow, you're growing, but yet you're not maintaining the same level that you started with. That's usually a problem,
I mean,
you have to continue to raise that level of customer service care because it's going to grant you your growth. It's going to get you referrals.
Yeah.
That's how the business grows, especially small business. That's how you're going to get there.
Yeah. So now the question is, so just so that we can support a Black business, do we just have to then just give up and say, well, this is what we are going to have to expect, right? Because there's some benefits, right, to these businesses. For instance, you want African food or Caribbean food, right? Yeah. You want to go to a Caribbean restaurant because you know that there's that sense of community. You're getting what you want is authentic food and things like that, right? Versus going to like an Asian restaurant that sells Caribbean food. It's just not the same. It's not the same, right? But do we, and I think the reason why it stays the way it stays is because we do keep supporting the businesses, right?
I know.
We keep supporting the businesses and we keep accepting the subpar level service that they give us.
Yeah, and I think in some certain areas, I feel it's more so, it's almost like a niche market.
Yeah.
So it's like,
because I mean,
options. And I think
where am I going to get my jollof rice from if I don't go to, if like you're trying to cater and you want like, where are you going to get it from? You have to go to a Nigerian restaurant. And that's the funny thing, actually, because I found there's this other Nigerian restaurant where the customer service is so great, but the food is not as good.
Oh, dear.
Right?
Yeah.
But the one that I'm always whining, and Tonya's always like, why do you keep going there? Like, but the food is so good.
I know, right? Oh, gosh.
The food is so good, but their customer service is horrendous. Oh. It's listen, and I just don't understand why they've not thought about it, right? Why haven't you thought about this thing?
The food is so good, people keep coming back.
But what I always say is, whenever I go to this one Nigerian restaurant, like the line is out the door. So they have customers. Yeah. However, you can never go into that restaurant from the time you go in to the time you leave is always going to exceed 45 minutes, even if you pre-ordered your food. And for the life of me, I don't understand why, right? I've pre-ordered my food. I've paid.
Taking so long?
I should just get into that restaurant and pick up my food. When you get into the restaurant, the line is out the door, right? And if you try to go to the front to say, hey, I've already ordered my food, yes, you still have to stand in line. What am I standing in line for? So that I stand in line for another 20 minutes to get to the front to tell them that I've already ordered this food, and then they start the process of the food. So that's why now I'm in the restaurant another 20 minutes. So now 45 minutes. One day, like I was so livid, but the owner happened to be there. And I was like, there's never any time I order from here that I can just come in, get my order and go. Yeah. And she was like, because we always, when people order, they don't pick up their food. I said, but what do you care? If I've paid for the food, what do you care if I don't pick up the food?
She better have not said nothing because that explanation didn't make no sense.
It didn't make no sense. You've ordered the food. So why are we able to order from Chinese restaurants? You order the food, you come in there, your food is ready. And again, the food is right there. They have the buffet right there. And I'm just like, what is taking so long?
You know what I'm thinking of? You know how back in the days, they'd be like, oh no, they're going to keep a line at the club. So just to feel like, hey, there's crowd
that's
coming
not
in.
What's happening.
Like, what the heck is going on here?
Literally, every time I go to this restaurant, everybody there is whining and complaining about the fact that every time they come in, this is how they waste their time. Yeah. And yet we all keep going back.
Yeah, the restaurant's a whole different thing. They really need to step up their
restaurant, and I'm going to focus more on Nigerian restaurants because that's where I've ordered a lot of the. Listen, Thanksgiving, right? Every other business restaurant, they all know that this is their biggest sale of the year. Yes. Like everybody prepares, right? What do? You have people who have more shifts, you have more sous chefs, you have more this, more that, so that you could fulfill the high, like you could literally make all of your sales for the year on Thanksgiving. Mm-hmm. No, not my Nigerian restaurant.
It's funny, my cousin had a really bad experience this year where she ordered.
There's always a bad experience. Was it a Nigerian restaurant?
Yes. She was there for
I never order anymore from Thanksgiving, because you get there, they will tell you things like, we stop taking order, or you get there, your order won't be ready, or they will give your order to somebody else. There's always commotion. There's always commotion on the day at Nigerian restaurants, because they've not figured out how to be organized about it.
But guess what? I don't think they haven't figured out. I think they just don't care.
They don't care, yeah.
They don't care too.
They just take the orders and then first come, first serve.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I wanted to order.
Be that hard.
I called this restaurant one time because I wanted to order. I was ordering catering order, and I got to tray of meat pie, tray of jollof rice, tray of puff. And so if you do the puff, you can't pick up until after 4:00. We don't start frying till this. I'm like, you cannot tell me I'm having an event, and if I'm having an event, there's a time to my event. You can't tell me that
you're not going to fry.
That you're not going to fry until 3:00. You're a restaurant. Why are you not? So they're like, oh no, but you can only we only take that order after 3:00.
You know, it's sad, and it's not just the food industry. It's also hair industry.
Oh,
makeup.
Oh my God! Don't get me started about the hair industry. The hair industry is so annoying, or cosmetic, because they will give you like a laundry list of your don'ts. Right? You can't come late. If you come more than 15 minutes late, this and that.
You're going to forfeit your deposit.
Your deposit. If you don't show up.
Do you know how many, and I'm going to put Atlanta right here.
Yeah.
I'm blasting Atlanta.
Oh, everybody.
Let me tell you, I had an event in Atlanta. I went out there, booked hair appointment, blah, blah, blah. Do you know that this person did not show, canceled on me the day before? Was it the day before or the day of? No, the day before I flew in.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Atlanta.
Canceled on me, never gave me back my deposit.
Why? What?
Yeah, sorry, I'm calling Atlanta out. You just have to. Never give me back my deposit. My hair was, I had to make other arrangements to get my hair, but that was what happened to me. And it's happened to other people that I know.
This is why, here's one thing that I've started doing. Like, when I make these deposits from these people that I'm finding on, like, if I find you on Instagram and I don't really know you and I want to try your service out, I'm going to use PayPal.
Oh.
PayPal, you should sponsor us now. I'm going to use PayPal, because when you use PayPal and you have an issue with that business, you can report to PayPal, and PayPal will refund your money.
Probably to go after them?
Yes.
Yeah, I think they need to start holding them accountable.
No, but that's the thing. That's one of the protection of using PayPal.
Okay.
If you use PayPal for those deposits and things, PayPal will give you back your money.
Okay, here we go.
And then PayPal will go after those people.
Awesome. Okay, now I know. Scheduled an appointment. Done all the laundry list of things that they say must be done prior to getting your hair done. And you get there and then they're an hour delay.
And yet,
hour.
Okay, so they're an hour delayed, right? It's not even as bad. But what annoys me is that they don't even have the decency to acknowledge that they are behind.
Yes,
and that's the part that I don't get.
Yeah.
Because they have this laundry list of what you're not allowed to do. Don't bring an additional person. Don't do this. Don't be late. If you do, we're going to take your money. If you come 15 minutes late, don't even show up, then your appointment is canceled, things like that. But then when you're late, and I understand why you may be late, right? Because maybe something happened with your previous client and it kind of trickles down. But why can't you just say, I apologize for being late. I apologize. They come and get you like nothing happened. They come and get you like you've not been sitting there for 45 minutes waiting on them. And it's just the whole attitude of, okay, so what did you want? Like, didn't I fill in a whole form when I was booking this appointment to tell you what I wanted?
Yeah, it's really sad and just not right. And I was so pissed because I'm sitting there with my fro up in there and I'm like, I can't.
The fro.
Yeah, because I'm like, I'm not going to, and I'm like so mad. I'm like, I'm leaving. But then again, I look at my hair and I'm like, oh no, I can't.
So what is the worst?
That's what happens to a lot of people.
So if you had to pick, what would you say is the worst experience you've had at an establishment?
I think it's that whole waiting
one,
an hour.
Yeah, that one is pretty bad though.
Mind you, this is not like around the corner from me. You know, you schedule the appointment. You have to make time in your calendar to make sure that you fit that time in.
Yeah.
An hour is a big deal to me.
Yeah.
And anybody else, you know?
So for me, there's this girl that used to do my lashes. There's individual lashes, right? And I'd been going to her consistently for like a whole year, right? She knew I was very reliable. I always showed up or whatever. And so one day I'm just sitting there and I just saw the charge, like, doop, I don't remember, 145, whatever one. I can't remember how much it was. But I was sitting there at home and the charge came through and I'm like, what? Like what happened? And I was like, hey, I messaged her. She said, oh yeah, your appointment was at 2, you missed it. So I thought I had an appointment the next day. I didn't realize that my appointment was for that day.
I feel like they were waiting for you to miss it, and the hour.
But that's just even what annoyed me, because I was available. I could have gone. I actually really needed to go, but I thought my appointment was the next day.
But what happened?
And she did not. And we messaged back and forth. This girl talks to me all the time. We've messaged. She never once messaged me to say, "Hey, I'm waiting for you.
Like, hey,
are you okay?"
Do they have a 15-minute grace?
I'm always reliable. Like, she never even texted me. She just charged my card.
No.
And then I was like, dang. I said, I'm so sorry. I didn't know that I had an appointment today. I said, you know that I'm always very reliable. I said, I just didn't know that it was today, and I really needed to do my life. She said, oh, sorry. That was it. I was just like, oh, sorry.
There was no, hey, no. Can I get you into another time?
No. She didn't. She said she didn't have any other appointments that week.
That's bad. That's bad, because that could have simply been a thing of, hey, it's 2:00.
Yeah.
Miss T's not here.
And so,
I'm going to pick up the phone and text and say, hey, is everything okay?
Now, I do understand this service providers, that they have clients who maybe repeatedly would like cancel on them.
I mean, you guys have an established
That's what I'm saying, that if it were one of those customers who's kind of flaky, then I understand, right? But I have been. To that point, I had never missed any appointment, canceled any appointment. I mean, it was literally the charge. It was literally the charge. I was
coming in like, what?
I was like, oh. And then she just said, oh, yeah, I charged you. Hope you're okay.
I hope you're okay. You should have called me within that hour and say, hey, like, what's going on?
I thought about disputing it, which I didn't, because I just said, okay, it's my own fault, right? But it left a bad taste in my mouth. Yeah. Like, it really, because, right. And that's my thing, is like, you expect all this from your client. What are you offering your client? Yeah. Like,
it's just so simple.
What are you offering your client?
I'm sure she probably could give you a 15-minute grace.
It's the one that, I remember the one that used to do my locks. I no longer go. There was one that used to do my locks a while back. And I would go in at my appointment time, and maybe she's running late from the previous person. And the way she would look at me like I came into the wrong place. It's like, she would look at you like, why are you here? Like, and I'm almost like standing there awkwardly for her to say, oh, please sit down. Give me 5 more minutes. She wouldn't even say anything. She just look at me like, did I ask you to come in? And it was just
the attitude.
I'll have to look at my time again like, no, this is the time of my appointment. And no, sorry, nothing.
I remember an incident that happened to me outside of the country. And it's funny because you almost get out of character, and I hate that.
Yeah. Oh, no, yeah.
Let me tell you this one. I mean, probably language barrier also played a factor in this one, but I was in France. Went into the store to get some clothing items. And there were like 3 active lines, So I think I was in the middle one. Someone was ahead of me, and then there were like people on the left and the right of it. And shortly after I got on the line, the lady said something in French. No big deal. Everybody was still there. The lady in front of me went, and I'm like, 10 minutes, nothing. My line wasn't moving. So I'm like, okay. So this is me like contemplating on my phone. Should I be trying to translate? Is this line open? Is it for cards only?
Right. Like, what's
then
happening?
I'm like, wait a minute. I'm not even trying that, because I looked at the thing and I was like, there's no way I'm pronouncing this stuff. So let me wait a little bit. 15 minutes. The one I was going. After a while, I was so mad. I was like, the only thing I remember in French is excusez-moi. So I'm standing there yelling, excusez-moi, excusez-moi. Like a mad African woman. Yeah. But I was so frustrated. I had like stuff in my hand. I'm standing there. I'm like, I know you can see me.
So did she even...
After I stepped out a little bit out of the line, and I'm literally almost in front of the register yelling, excusez-moi, like a mad person, and I'm sure that's probably not the way to say it. Eventually, she now kind of like waved at me to come forward. I was so pissed. At that point, I was so angry. Like, my sisters were waiting for me. Like, what took you 25 minutes?
And
like,
she probably
didn't hear somebody yelling, excusez-moi, excusez-moi. I thought that was horrible, because clearly you could see that, I've been on this line for so long. It's moving, and I'm like, what's going on? If you made an announcement, I don't understand. Yeah. Still kind of like that's a whole
it's a shame. Story. I mean, honestly, I just wish that we want to support Black businesses, right? I want to support Black businesses. I want to support African businesses. I want to support, Nigerian businesses. Mm-hmm. But sometimes I just feel like supporting them just means I'm going to get less, right? I just feel like I'm not getting what I'm paying for sometimes. Right? I just feel,
not all the time. But honestly, after saying all of this, I've had a different experience recently.
Oh.
Really, really different experience.
Is it a restaurant?
No, it was a series.
I'm still looking for a very good Nigerian restaurant with good customer service in the DMV area.
So, hey, please.
Let us know.
But let me tell you, like I said, I've had really great experience very recently, actually, in Nigeria.
In Nigeria?
Yes, and it was a bunch of service providers.
Oh, yeah, you told me about this.
Yes, a bunch of every single one that I had an encounter with was very professional.
Wow.
Timely.
What?
I was absolutely impressed. And I'm like, this is phenomenal. I have to give it up.
You told me about that, yes. and I can't wait to go and experience that, because that sounded amazing. I was even looking at the pictures and I'm like, this was in Nigeria. Like, not that they're not. I know they're beautiful places in Nigeria, but I just meant it was just done so elegantly, and I was amazed at the level of
professionalism. It was through a service provider.
Yeah,
that got me into all of that.
Oh, but, that's nice.
Like I told the person, I said, your whole team is fantastic.
Wow.
Fantastic. And that's coming from me. And it doesn't take much to impress me. Yeah. I'm telling you, if you give me good customer service, I'm a very loyal person.
We're like that. I mean, I
don't need to be going
hairstylist for like 15 years because of the consistency in her service. She does my daughter's hair. I've gone to her forever to do, not when I have locks, because she's just very consistent, right? Yeah. So I just feel like, I mean, if you're good, if you're consistent, then people will come to you, and people will give you grace for those times that you're off. But don't be off all the time.
No.
I have my friend one time said that we both shared this other hairstylist, because you have different hairstylists for different types of styles that you want to do. And the hairstylist is very good, but she always has an attitude. So that day she said she was doing her hair, and the hairstylist started saying things like, "Oh, how are your kids?" She was like, "Oh, me? So we're talking today?"
I know, right? It's like, what mood are you in today?
She said because normally it's like she sits in the chair, she does her hair. So she said she was just used to going and not having any conversation.
I mean, I can understand. Some people are not very chatty.
But she said, but that day she starts to talk to her, and she was like, "Oh."
And it might take a while for people to warm up with some others.
No, she's like that.
So I have to give it up. We do have Nigerians that are like stepping it up, and I mean they're professionals, and they're great at what they do, and they understand the importance of making sure that their clients are satisfied.
Yes.
And it's like a whole package.
Oh my God. I can't wait to go next time I go to Nigeria to experience that, because yes, I really loved that whole package.
Yeah. So I had to give the
planner
credit. Yeah, I had to give her credit. Like, this is fantastic.
Wow. Well, that's good to know. So we say that to say this, right? We really want to support Black-owned businesses, all sorts of businesses. But you guys also have to
step it up.
Act like you want us to come to your business.
Yeah.
Act like you want to service us. Don't act like when we come into your business,
why I want. What do you want? What is it the Nigerian?
Or like what else do you want? Like, come on. Be grateful in this climate like that you have customers. The whole point of you establishing this business is because you want people to come into the business.
Yeah.
And then when the people come into the business, treat them like you're happy that they're coming into the business. If your business is growing, employ people.
Yes.
Employ people to get your products out there.
Yes.
Just
it's important.
I mean, it's so important. Like, why are you spending 2 months fulfilling an order and refusing to employ people? Man, we could talk about
so
this.
Much more.
You could make and that's the one thing with the one during Thanksgiving. Every time you call this restaurant, like they'll tell, no, we're not taking anymore. It's just like, do you understand how much money you could be making? You know that this is the busiest time of year.
You should plan ahead.
Plan ahead. Yeah. Hire more people. Yeah. Hire more staff to fulfill all these orders, knowing that you're going to have a whole lot more people than normal. But no. Instead, they're turning away customers. Like, why are you turning away customers?
The money's plenty.
Like, why are you turning away customers?
I don't understand, but I think I gotta step it up.
Well, anyway, we could talk about this all day. Guys, if you want, please share in the comments your own customer service experiences.
Yeah, please.
And then if you know any good Black-owned restaurant or businesses that are doing great, that are doing their thing when it comes to customer service and product quality, please leave it in the comment. We want to support those businesses.
You should.
But leave it in the comments so that people could go out there and support them, because we want to support the ones that are doing good.
Yes,
right?
Definitely we want to.
Yeah, so until next time, we'll see you.
Have a great time.
Yeah.
Bye.